You mean the
No,
podcast itself?
the Kickstarter. I've never
Oh,
listened to the podcast, but like the run up to the Kickstarter, like the character creation video was
we're
run by
live.
a guy who had never played each.
We're live.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, and just
I'll try
make sure you're okay. I just didn't want you to say anything, that could get clipped out
No,
of
it's
context or
fine.
whatever.
It would have been so easy to get someone who knew how to play the game to run character creation, but they chose not to do that.
This is my first stream of October.
That's
Hang
annoying.
on. What is up, chat gang? My first stream of October. It's I just hang on.
Stream's haunted.
It's not.
Stream's haunted.
Not okay. Not okay. Hang on. Yeah. Some spooky, scary skeletons. There we go. Yeah, it's not October. There we go.
Stream's haunted.
All right, I did it. It's been done. Normally I'm running a marathon right now. 30 straight days, 38, 28, 13, something along those lines, and I'm not. This is like the first time in my how old's Colin? About 11 years of streaming career that I haven't done that. I always remember how long I've been streaming by remembering Colin's age, because he was a newborn when I started streaming. First game I streamed was BioShock Infinite. I was under a different name back then, and then I did a rebrand and stuff because I started taking my streaming seriously, and here we are 11 years later with my stream kind of appropriately being a bit of a ghost town. I stream once every 3 to 5 weeks, and it's to bring you this vampire game.
Accurate. Yeah.
I keep meaning to hunker down and redo a stream schedule and do all those things, but I'm so fucking tired. I'm so very tired. My therapist even identified that I probably need a somewhat of a lifestyle change because my job is draining me too much, and it's compressing how unhappy I am with other things because I don't do anything I enjoy anymore. So speaking of not doing anything you enjoy anymore, that would be a horrible way to play the bad transition game.
Speaking of things you hate, welcome to Vampire.
Speaking of things you don't really enjoy anymore, no.
The reason I don't enjoy it is because we haven't played it. I mean, I enjoy it when it happens, bro.
Life.
Just saying.
Life, my friend, has been destroying me. No,
I understand that, but fuck your stupid bad transition game.
Well, no, I have tonight it was dinner and kid homework and different things like that, and it's it occurred to me that the overwhelming majority of successful streamers either don't have kids or have older kids, or were independently wealthy, so their children didn't matter, in terms of their time. And it's how do you be a real parent for your kids and maintain a stream schedule? My Mondays are swimming classes. Tuesdays, both kids have soccer practice. By the time they're done with soccer practice and dinner gets cooked, it's already 8:30. By the time now you throw in homework, you're looking at 9 o'clock. And at some point I got to get up at 6 a.m. and work tomorrow.
I mean, the only option is to just let your kids run free like wild animals.
Right. It's to let Molly do literally everything and lock myself in my office.
I mean, I had zero supervision as a child. I turned out fine.
I mean, fine is relative.
Yeah. And even now, I can hear Molly arguing with Lily, whose bedtime was 2 hours ago. and she's playing the I don't want to go to bed game, which is just. So speaking of the I don't want to go to bed game, who wants to play vampire?
Mhm.
See, I haven't talked to
feel
real
like it's
humans in a
lighter
while
here.
either. I feel like I haven't talked to real humans in a while either. So now I just have to
I'm
like.
gonna tell Molly she's not a real human.
I
See-
also
That's the thing is like she's locked in here with me. Like she's more of like another voice inside my head than like an external conversation. That's the problem. Is like any bullshit I'm going through, she's going through too. There's not really like an external. It's like a feedback loop with her. It's you know there's no. She's already inside my headspace and cohabitating in my life, and so all the bullshit and horrible things I go through, I basically subject her to directly, and so there's no escape. There's no escape. Speaking of no escape, who wants to read the fucking content warning? How's it going?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
16 years. Thank you so much for 16 years of support.
Append messages.
I love when new folks show up to the stream and they hear me say like 16 years or 12 years or however many years, and they're so utterly confused by it. It takes them a legitimately long time to realize I've just converted months to years, and it's always amazing to see. They're like, "Wait a second, what do you mean by 16 years?" It's like a complicated math formula.
Yep.
Speaking of complicated math formula, you find it yet?
I found it. Yes.
Yeah, right on.
The following show takes place in the world of darkness and explores narratives of personal horror. This story is a work of fiction and is not official World of Darkness material. Still waiting for our email. Many of the themes are portrayed from a place of empathy, but may be uncomfortable to some listeners. Episodes may contain coarse language, sexual content, mental and emotional abuse, violence, mental illness, and blood. Viewer discretion is advised. Portions of the materials are the copyrights and trademarks of Paradox Interactive AB and are used with permission. All rights reserved. For more information, please visit worldofdarkness.com and tell them to give us money. Thank you for watching Endless Elegy. We hope you've enjoyed the story thus far and invite you to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitch or your favorite player. By doing this, you'll help support the show and get updates when our next episode goes live. If you'd like to be part of our community, you can follow us on Twitter and join our Discord. All links are in the down there in your underwear part. The end.
I'm just considering our earlier conversation about the signs in the restrooms.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what kind of links. Never mind.
just don't question it. Just go with it. Move
I'll
on.
try. So speaking of just going with it, I can't turn it off. Once you start the bad transition game, like you can the bad segue game, you can't stop it. It keeps going.
I hate it.
It's funnier when I'm podcasting, obviously, because the whole nature is to keep conversation blah. But when you're jamming, it's a little different. So the previous sessions, if we cast our mind back 2 years to the last time I ran this game, some really weird bullshit had happened for Michael's birthday, and it found Rory in the coterie in sort of like an alternate universe where vampires didn't exist, but sort of like mages did. Ashley made a pact with the artist, the evil monster, the evil ancient nameless evil formerly known as the Static Man, that her grandmother knew by a different name of like Mr. W or something like that, and she called Mr. Whisper, which I thought was so cool. It's canon, it's sticking. So she made a pact with Mr. Whisper. It's aka the Static Man, and that was a wonderful idea and definitely will not have long-term ramifications and impacts in this chronicle that we have been DMing about pretty much every week since she made the pact, even though the stream may or may not have been going. Like, it's like we gotta sort some shit out, y'all. And call it foreshadowing, call it an I told you so, call it like bad GMing, but like she might be angling towards the big bad evil guy right now. Like the final boss was Ashley all along. That's how big this is. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty big deal. Rory tasted a life where he was a full wizard, even though we didn't do full wizard shit like I kind of wanted to. But you got a taste. You know, you always want to leave the people wanting more,
As
not
a-
less.
As a treat for his birthday.
Yeah, but more
Little
importantly,
treat.
the real treat was Lexi. Right, like he lived a domesticated life, married to Lexi, and he got to see that sort of proto Sasha version, and Sasha, well, Anne got to play a sort of different side of her own character, and I think you indulged. I think you had a good time.
I indulged so hard, bro. I loved it so much.
Indulged so hard, I was just lying in the bathroom about it.
You discovered the spiral room.
Oh, that's great. Look, I did a
see,
little
that
art
would be
project.
a callback, but we didn't say that joke on stream. Like we didn't tell them about.
I did a little finger painting on the wall. It's fine.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
a little art
So
project.
you learned about the crooked door. You learned about the spiral room. And the crooked door is, you know, sort of a metaphysical. Well, I'm not going to do all the explainers. You go watch the pods if you don't know.
I drew a hot guy. I drew a hot guy on the wall. It's fine. Drew a couple of hot guys on the wall. It's fine.
Ooh, what GT
fine.
are you going to, Charles? So yeah, there was some there was some tampering with realities.
Listen, you make it sound so bad. It's just a little art project.
I was predominantly trying to screw with Rory. That didn't stop Anne.
No, second, I'm doing a little art project on the side.
Like
don't worry about it.
We need some sort of like shorthand moniker for you. Like Diva, like doesn't quite like. I don't know. Like you're kind of the chaos incarnate of our Carnicle. Really, is what it is.
No, what I am is controlled chaos. Okay.
Yeah.
I pick my moments because I don't actually like consistent chaos, but if I get it in my head, that's what I want as a treat. I indulge in it, and then I'm like, okay, that's it.
Yeah,
chaos
this isn't to be confused with like disruption, by the way. You're not the disruptive player. That's why like I'm having a hard time coming up with like what I would, you know, like the archetype, the niche that you've really settled
because
into.
I have no archetype. I defy archetypes. I am me, and I said,
yeah,
and then I said, fuck you, and I did an art project on a wall.
But I'm never disappointed with you, Anne. I'm never disappointed with your capacity to just up the ante in ante.
Get the fuck out of here. Stop that.
In wonderful ways. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a purposeful sip from my coffee cup here that says "Slay all day."
Look.
So that's what I do.
I was selfishly doing it to make the bisexual Rory arc happen. Okay.
You did unlock. This is how you unlock bisexual Rory arc. Like, it's like in Silent Hill, you can only unlock like certain endings by doing certain stuff, and sometimes they seem like bad things. Like, for instance, like you for one of the good endings, you can't listen to the conversation between James and his wife when she's dying. Like you actually have to not listen to it.
I took
and that's like antithetical to like playing a game that's very story forward. You want to hear all the story, right? But if you listen to it, James doesn't get to like delude himself into the better ending, which is just one of the reasons why Silent Hill 2 is one of the greatest games of all time.
I took a major swerve to the left to get that bisexual
Yeah,
history arc. I'm
you
just
really had
saying.
to. You kind of hurt yourself in the process, which is why it was all the more impressive. But the ramifications of this all is that we end up back in sort of like the world of
Back to
darkness.
reality.
Oh, there goes gravity. Mom's spaghetti and all that. Um, you've
God
heard like
damn it.
the 20-hour remix of that, right? Where it's just Mom's spaghetti to the beat. Right? You haven't? Oh my god, this is like old YouTube.
No.
Like ye old YouTube. It's not quite Badger, mushroom old, but it's pretty old. Mom's spaghetti. Which is why when anytime anyone makes the Eminem song, when they start doing that, I can only hear Mom's spaghetti on loop. You might even notice me just say Mom's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
All right.
So yeah. We sort of found ourselves back in our world that we're familiar with, our Endless Elegy, our second city. And the promise of the blues and the sadness and the sort of lilting dreariness, the foreboding that I have really kind of wrapped around myself and my stories like a blanket, came to visit us in the form of you definitely with your finger paintings brought Zoran back.
Look, my little art project. Anyway, can we talk about how he managed to jack a whole basement full of Nosferatu and shove them into a fucking van?
And that's exactly where I was getting to. Creation, anyone who's ever told a story, anyone who's ever painted a picture, anyone who's ever strummed a guitar or stroked keys on the piano, anyone who's crocheted, if you've ever done anything creative, it is a force of will that comes with a cost. The proverbial blood, sweat, and tears. And in a story like Endless Elegy, where it's a lot about the cost of stories and what it means to create, the cost of willing Zoran back was that he didn't quite come back as the Zoran we all knew. He's different. He's helped First Light jack an entire basement of Nosferatu, essentially.
The whole ass basement. We're talking 4 dots of contacts worth of Nosferatu. Like, there's a whole, like, small society of Nosferatu in that basement, and they're all gone.
And we sort of find ourselves outside the coterie house as Zoran's, he does that thing where like he sort of like moves and like you see only Ivory, one of his 2 guns. You see only Ivory in the shoulder harness, right? And his I remember what type of sword he used. Like he used like a gladius or something like that, right? Like he used a standard saber sort of thing.
So then I do.
And so like opposite that, and probably at the small of his back, I think like a nice, like a saber. Like he's not going to go over the top. Probably even something like sort of techno-y looking, like Techno Ninja, short sword sort of looking thing at the small of his back. Reality has been altered so much. He's gone from a dual pistol wielder to like a sword and blade wielder. Like you've.
Wait, I've fucked with reality that hard?
So much that his weaponry has changed so that when he duels Rory, it's even cooler.
Yeah, we literally become a mirror. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like,
I should be upset, but now I'm just aroused.
As you should be. So like he's kind of got that like that opening scene of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, fuck.
Like vibes again, but now with like just the one gun and I can't remember the actor's name who we kind of settled on as his sort of proxy, but he is somehow. What was his name?
Darren Criss.
Yeah, and just like a little bit more rugged looking, because he's eviler,
more
right?
scruff.
Yeah, a little bit more scruff. Yeah, like a little bit, and so a little bit more scruff. The shadows sort of cling to his features, making it like a little bit harsher. Making his features look a little bit sharper, right? His clothing has sort of had like a little bit of like a wardrobe shift, like a pigmentation shift, not like a inversion, right? No, that's lame, but just shifted just a little bit. Whereas he wore like, if he wore like ivory before, it's gone like a little bit more to like a tan or
off-white.
Like an off-white. Yeah, it would shift one way or the other, right? Like, and no, not Ludacris, Darren Criss.
Luda.
And he's sort of like lingers, his motorcycle next to one of these, paramilitary vehicles, the nondescript, SWAT vehicles that the First Lighters have been using. He's locked eyes with now Sasha. Sorry, I got so used to calling Lexi, and then I'm like, no, you call her Lexi. No, wait, I even confused myself.
He would okay, but like, how much of the history that I accidentally erased would he have called her? Would he have called her Lexi?
He still calls you Lexi. So for the most part, it is. Again, we're using like, you recall essentially both timelines now. Like, you recall, like, it's anytime you sort of like go to connect the memories, it's like as if you've ever had like a really, really vivid dream that you remember like as well as a memory, and then time passes and you go back to like, wait a second, was that a dream? No, the other thing was the dream. And that's kind of what have you ever had one of those? Like a vivid dream that you can't remember if it's a memory or if it was just a dream, like especially as you get kind of distance yourself from it. I have a few of those where I'm like, wait, was that a dream or was that a memory? Wait, I think that's a memory. And you have that going on. Okay, where it's and both of them have that feeling to it, making it even more difficult to sort of pin down.
They both feel like real.
Yes.
So I remember the married timeline and all of that.
Yeah, you remember all of that. Yeah, exactly. Like as you get a little bit away from the married timeline, that seems a little bit more distant, but it still has all that like that affect of a memory, and it's just like, oh man, it's like when you bump into a friend and it like suddenly you remember this thing that happened in high school you thought you totally forgot. Oh crap, yeah. Same thing happens every time you look at Rory. He kind of renews these moments of being married to him and in a different world, right? And it's a similar thing with Zoran, where when you look at him, you remember him teaching you to use guns, and you remember all of that. All of that stays crystalline, like solid and crystal clear as memories can be, right?
Sure.
And then what gets troubling is when you try to remember him coming back to Chicago. That moment you saw him outside the club.
The most recent.
Yes. You remember him meeting up with you outside of the club. But there was like...
But I also felt a blood bond break, right? At the end of last session,
we're going to circle back around to that because I have an idea for how we're going to sort of get into the narrative of the evening as we sort of fill in the meta around it, as we sort of build the scene up and stuff like that. I have an idea of how we're going to kind of get into things.
Sure.
So you have and this is where things get complicated. Mathematically, anyone who's like really into like the theory or hypothesis of time travel, those of you in a lighter reality, perhaps viewing this, they've sort of mathematically proven time travel. Okay, like cool math.
Okay.
This is, and there is essentially a theory that time is sort of like, the best way to describe it is like a big river, and it sort of continuously flows, right? And if you were to time travel, you could like, it would be like throwing a rock into the river. It would cause like a splash, but the river would pretty much keep flowing anyway in the same direction, and so on and so forth. That it essentially, time is self-correcting because math. And so with your memories of Zoran getting to this point, you remember meeting him. You remember meeting up with him and having the little motorcycle chase, and you remember all those little moments. But they're also sort of like, they also have sort of like a, almost like an anxiety about them now upon looking back on them.
Okay.
As if there was this like edge to them that wasn't there before, like a sinister edge or like an underpinning. Something was off even now as you reflect upon them. When you go to remember the moment of his death,
Mhm.
which is kind of in there, it just, it's like a anomaly within your own head. You're like, that didn't happen. You have that memory of it happening. You remember seeing him die. But just, you're just like, as you sort of probe your mind at that moment and you try to think back, well, what was I doing before that? What was I doing before that? And as you sort of trace it back, it starts to just break down and not make sense to you. It gets sort of nonsensical. It's the sort of thing that if you think about too long could perhaps drive you mad.
Did I bring this motherfucker back with a heart? Oh no. I'm in danger. Okay. All right. Okay. So, oh man.
So are you to fast or to furious? Is this like to be or not to be? Because
All right. Okay, so standing outside.
Yes, in the attire of your
Van
choosing, because I feel like there was way too much stress put on, like, would I be in my pajamas? Like, I don't care what you're wearing because you were just in an alternate reality when you snap into place here. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to know what the mechanics were of returning. Okay.
You're inserted into it, like it's timey-wimey, right? Like it's
Do I have
wobbly.
do I have the cool jacket that I got
Yeah.
from the
Do you have the cool jacket? I'm sorry.
a,
Which cool jacket?
the jacket from the spirally room.
Oh yeah,
spiral room.
From like the other Sasha. Like
yeah,
from other Sasha, right? Like we'll call her like
from
Sasha X. Like like it's an anime. See, that wasn't to clarify for anyone who may be confused
Sasha
about
from.
It's not the Sasha you've been playing that you ran into in the spiral room.
No,
I
it was a
thought I
different
made
Sasha.
that pretty clear that it was, and the
it
whole
took me
ending up
to
back
get there.
here was okay. Yeah.
It took me a minute to get there, but I got there.
Okay. It's the sort of thing where I could write it, where I'd leave some mystery in it,
Sure.
but because there's players, you gotta like get everyone sort of on the same page. You're giving people acting prompts and
Look, there's a third being somewhere.
Oh no,
He's
there isn't
also
anymore.
Sasha.
One of them,
Not
you
anymore.
snuffed out a timeline of Sasha, by the way. I want
Oh
you to know
shit!
in the
Yeah.
like
Okay.
you
No.
Killed that bitch.
in
I
the
shot-
Jet Li
Oh wait,
in the
I
Jet
shot that
Li
bitch.
like
Yo,
as if
I
like
shot that
if this is Jet Li's documentary, the one,
Oh, I shot that bitch.
yeah,
I
that
forgot
one
about-
you erased that one from like existence somewhere.
I forgot I shot.
You
I
like
forgot I
snatched
shot that bitch.
her you willed her like metaphysically out of her timeline and into the spiral room with you because you had a conflict and crisis with yourself. And
yeah,
like
then I shot her.
and then
Part.
you fucking erased her. Yeah, she's gone. Somewhere
Wiped her
there's
from
like
existence.
there's a Rory in a different
Without a
reality,
Sasha.
like without a Sasha. Yeah.
Sucks for that guy.
I mean, maybe he has. Maybe that's the evil arc over there now.
Yeah.
No,
Well, now he's the
going
real bad guy.
vengeance arc.
The bad guy at the end of the game is the like takes off the mask, and it's Rory who lived in a world without Sasha and tried to do everything in his power to basically punish all the universes that had a Sasha to find his one
Rory
Sasha.
is the status
Now
man.
I'm just doing the into the across the Spider-Verse plot. That's just the across, like right. That's just the like That's Spider-Man 2099 story. Is like he tries to steal his wife from a different timeline because his wife dies and now he's upset. Yeah, Rory just goes Rory 2099.
Look, that is some anime arc bullshit. Okay,
I love it. Why are you Don't come at me. So
I'm not coming at you. I'm just
I'm gonna
saying.
take a totally unrelated note because that might actually be really
That's the next time Shelly isn't available. We just
we'll play the Rory
Evil.
2099 arc.
He just tries to kidnap Sasha.
So I'm gonna write down.
This reality.
Yeah, I'm gonna write down Rory 2099.
I know what.
And
I
I'm
know
not
what
gonna
I'm
know what that
asking.
means in like
Can
6 months.
Yo, you know what happens in like 5 months? My birthday again. Maybe we can make this a thing. We can make.
God! Would you love for your birthday story to be Michael kidnapping you? Like, how much more melodramatic could it get than like an evil? Like he shows up in a Phantom of the Opera mask, you know?
You're not gonna remember all this good shit in like 5 months when
Rory
it starts.
2099, Phantom of the Opera mask. Oh, I'm writing it down.
Full mage.
You're not gonna understand your own notes in 5 months. Anyway.
Oh, like that Rory would like nuke like an entire reality to have the power to get Sasha back. Like, oh, it's so good.
It's just this reality, Sasha, like this version of Sasha trying to escape getting kidnapped / murdered. Oh, oof. Okay.
That's such good headcanon. My goodness.
Listen, there's a van driving away with a basement full of Nosferatu. Can we focus on that now?
No. I had to take notes, okay? Yeah, now we can. So
it's like a whole WoW guild that got kidnapped.
Oh my god! It's so funny because it's true.
Somewhere the raid against the WoW Classic raid on like I don't know Arthas, whatever they're up to now in WoW Classic releases. It just fucking all like the guild just like stops moving and wipes, except for like the one normie who was in there. Like, guys, heals.
Guys,
it's like the main.
Everyone.
Nosferatu wanted to play a fucking main tank. Heals.
Dwayne. Oh, I'm sorry, Dwayne. You there?
Ventrilo call goes cold. That was a deep cut. Ventrilo.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah. Deep cuts. Okay. So my brain is hurting from multiple timelines. There's Nosferatu getting kidnapped.
Ashley is winding down a hall, and we sort of cut away from her conveniently. since you
Good
may have
morning.
noticed that she's not playing with us this evening. She's in the upside down. It turns out. So
I should be with her, but things are not working out. So I'm probably going to join her in a week or two, depending on how that works out.
I hope things work out a little better. So as you stare at him, we're going to sort of cast our mind's eye into a sort of misty, sort of watercolor landscape. You find yourself standing back to back with Zoran. Sort of the one hand that would be empty of, a gun. And you have, like, in the other hand, he's got Ivory and you've got Ebony, and you're holding hands in this moment. And you can feel each other's heart beating sort of through your palms, as if we're in some sort of visual metaphor for a blood bond meets sort of soulscape. I told you it would get hard if you stayed in the city.
Where did you expect me to go?
Anywhere but here.
And what do you expect me to do now?
Run. Or at the very
What
least,
about
don't follow this time. Don't try to follow this time.
I can't do that. You know I can't do that. I'm always going to follow. I think if they're holding hands, she grips onto the hand like a little bit stronger than she would. So it's like a, kind of like that squeeze of just like.
Yeah. There's that, when you're a kid and you're convinced there's a monster under your bed and you just, your heart sort of grips tight to your sternum and you refuse to look under the bed because if you do, it makes it real, right? You have that sensation as you stand back to back with Zoran, just sort of unable to face him, but still gripping his hand, right? Sasha, the things that must be done going forward. I can't guarantee your safety anymore.
I can take care of my own safety. I won't let you go this time. And she grips even harder to make a point.
It's kind of like trying to hold smoke at this point. I can't promise that I won't be the one to hurt you.
I don't believe you. I know you would never hurt me.
Maybe there was a time that was true. But I've learned things, seen things. This world's judgment is coming. Our judgment is coming.
We can face this together. Well, why can't we face this together?
Because you'll be in my way of what I have to do.
No. No. All of that is in the way of us. It's always been in the way of us. How could you forget?
The next time. Don't be here, Sasha. For your sake. And everyone you still care about's sake. Rory, you were in possession of a certain relic before that sort of allowed you a moment. Previously. And similar to what I described for Sasha, you have that sort of dreams, memories thing going on with both realities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You as the possessor of the shard of the bloodstone have a little more concrete understanding that, like, sort of it's the, like, you have a little bit more concrete understanding of, like, it's all are true is the best way I can put it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's you know, same song, different verse, and both are true, you know, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You were given a box, and you would still have the box, though perhaps not on you. You made a connection that was like whatever's left of a vampire's soul, right? And you have a particularly high humanity. And you sort of were with Sasha as the vans were doing their thing. You were sort of outside the coterie house, and you see her sort of like go partially catatonic. Now she's got some deeper Auspex powers, so you've seen her sort of have this look on her face before, where she's, you know, gleaning auras or, you know, doing a panacea. You've seen a similar look on her face before, and as you sort of like look at her, it sort of inflicts this image of that cherry blossom tree from before, but rather than, you know, bright red, pink, you know, blossoms, it's a tree that's never bloomed instead. And again, you see Sasha in this state, and it just kind of inflicts this image on you briefly, as if she's having some sort of empathic transmission. And then that it sort of like dissipates, and you have this van that's peeling away and a pseudo catatonic Sasha before you. Do you do anything? She's got the cool jacket on. She's maybe even like unintentionally or unconsciously like reached for where ebony would have been on her person, you know, and she's sort of like frozen.
Yeah. Sasha,
Am
come on.
I able to snap out of it? Is he able to call me back, or is this
I will say, like, in the Zoran zone, you can hear his voice sort of distant on the wind. You hear Rory's voice, and you feel Zoran's head kind of lift up. You're back to back, and he looks like you're being called home. I suspect this will be the last time we share this place. And you feel his hand again, like trying to hold smoke, just sort of evaporate from yours. And this sort of pulse, this heartbeat that you've had feeling in sync with his desyncs and grows distant. The warmth, the connection that you had to him, and you sort of get this flash of the memory of you offering your blood to him, and it sort of like plays in reverse as he continues to sort of blow away smoke on the wind, and you're standing back with Rory. His like lingering glance that had caught your eyes sort of triggering this moment has since moved on, and his motorcycle, it's just a single streak of red from the tail light well down the street by this point, beside one of the vans.
my head?
Hey, I can tell, but we got shit to deal with right now. We'll talk after we figure out what just happened. I smell smoke in the house. We got to make sure Sam and Ashley are okay.
Okay. The Nosferatu, and she points at the direction the van drove away.
Fuck's sake. All right. Well, we got it. Yeah, one step at a time. And point, rush into the house, to the closet with the fire extinguisher.
Is there an opportunity for me to, because share the senses, if you are looking at them, it doesn't matter as much if the blood is present in their system, right? Is there an opportunity for me to maybe piggyback on him and when I see him, or on Zoran, so I can like Auspex trail him, like get in his head where he's going?
No, there's like a total void of that right now. It's the pain of this connection you had, the actual blood bond, that being severed. It's like a severed limb, like a phantom limb. There is a pain and a absence there that makes it difficult to reach out to a sensus at all in this moment. There's a sort of a system shock, not a shell shock. Sorry.
Okay. House smoke. Okay. I'm gonna
Go find Ashley. I'll hit the kitchen.
I'm gonna blink into the house to find Ashley, I guess, or use some kind of celerity situation to try to find Ashley.
Yeah. And Rory, what are you doing?
Grabbing the fire extinguisher from the hall closet, running into the kitchen.
Okay. We're gonna take a brief intermission.
Okay.
And then we'll come back with the fruits of your investigation, I suppose, into the coterie house. Stick around, y'all. We'll call it like a little 5-minute intermission. We'll be right back. Alrighty. You'll love the old Akira Yamaoka music from Silent Hill. Which, talking about Silent Hill and playing Silent Hill 2 soundtrack for the intro music and BRB music were completely unrelated, by the way. I just went through my like video game music OSTs when I went live with the stream, and talking about Silent Hill was just, you know, separately always on my mind. Poured myself a glass of vino to commemorate the loss of Zorn as a good guy NPC friendo I get to play, and the heel turn into bad guy. But it is October, and if anyone wants a really good not horror movie to watch, like it's not even remotely scary. I don't know why it's in the horror movie category. I saw the TV Glow. It is. I watched it like 2-3 weekends ago now. I'm still thinking about it right now. Initially, I didn't like the ending because I wanted a different ending. But now I can't stop thinking about that ending, so it was the perfect ending. The sort of second to last scene in the movie is glorious. It is so fucking good. I don't want to say basically anything about it, but if you grew up with like Nick at Night or Snick, if anyone remembers Snick and Are You Afraid of the Dark, it pretty much directly references sort of like growing up in that era. Yeah,
it's the vibes, man.
Yeah, there's a fictional show in there that they sort of reference on the kids channel late night before they start playing the old people black and white shows. They're literally talking about Nickelodeon. They're not saying Nickelodeon. It's great.
I'm
And
Canadian though, so.
also it's queer as fuck.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's really good. Really good. Like,
So you're
again,
basically saying it's like the 90s but better because it's queer as fuck.
yeah. No, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Like, the writer, they have been explicit with what their messaging and themes were. And
And that's always good.
based awesome, excellent. But I also read into it my own struggles with like ideation and stuff.
Sure.
And it works on that level too. And I know why it works is that level too, because like struggling with like sort of like transitioning and being trans, I could see as sort of like having parallels to like the disassociation I felt prior to my suicide attempts and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know the trans experience, but I've friends and talk of dysphoria and stuff like that and blah blah blah. Anyway, really good flick. Really good flick for anyone at any level of horror enjoyment. It's really good. Sorry, this is my month. Now back to her. Also, Japanese movie Pulse was pretty fucking good too. It basically describes the Twitter hellscape before Twitter. It's like from like 2001, 2002 or something like that. Japanese film.
Yep.
So Rory grabs a fire extinguisher, rushes in, and puts out some of the fires. It's not interesting to roll for the fear of fire right here, so you won't be. What
Sam?
And Sasha's sort of already blinked in and ahead.
You want me to roll for that?
Toward the underground, right? You have to rouse for the
Blink, yeah.
for the blink. So I'll have you roll a rouse for that. And I'm going to roll to take my shirt off because it's way too hot in here.
That's bad. I got hungrier. I'm at 3 hunger, but I blink.
I'm still at 4, so, you know.
Oh, that's just real bad. Anyway, I'm at 3 hunger, but I blink.
Dude, I gotta say, I am getting some guns though. Like I've always had pretty decent definition in my arms, but I'm starting to get like weird, like extra muscles in places.
Oh, gee, how terrible! Muscles in places.
Yeah, like I've always had like a tricep and that definition, but now I'm getting like the weird thingies up here and that I've never had.
Oh no, it looks like you've been working out. How bad?
Maybe I have been, but also my job, pulling like cable like all day. It's just, although it's wrecking, it's wrecking my hands, but it's giving me guns. So you where I'm sorry, where did you go? I took off my hoodie and
I was looking for Ashley. I guess I would be like searching, blinking into the house.
Yeah.
From across the street. That's the
roll a wits awareness. You're certainly ahead of Rory, but the bigger thing's going to happen, I think, with you. So we'll take care of a quick blurb with Rory real quick, but I do want you to roll a wits awareness.
Can I use? Would I be allowed to use my heightened senses?
I believe heightened senses would give you some auto sort of successes.
Well, no, it just lets me. Hold on, let me look it up. You would think I know this by now. Heightened senses just lets me add my Auspex rating to my wits awareness.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Great. Sorry, now I have to do math. That's 5, 6. Is there anybody in this house? Okay, wait.
Is there anybody out there?
Fine, wants to me from inside the house.
Oh, this is gonna be absolute balls because I have 3 hunger. Okay. 3 successes.
Hmm. You can hear like you have in that way that like we all sort of like when something's wrong, you sort of have like because humans actually have more than 5 senses. We have like literally a lot more than that, like our equilibrium and you have an understanding, like the sort of like hackles go up, and you have this feeling that the vibes that there's some activity in the basement type thing. You can just sense someone downstairs. You hear some stuff like like subtle things. It's nothing as overt as like people screaming and punching and stuff. It's the air being disrupted a certain way that's not usual for your surroundings. The static of a screen on but no computer connection to it, like all these just ambient off noises that draw your attention downstairs.
Okay.
And some more details to come, but you sort of find yourself blinking and whizzing, and moments before, like like 20 minutes before type thing. I don't know. That time is weird, but you're going very fast, and you would be in the basement before what Rory does happens. But like I said, his thing is simple, so I want to take care of it real quick. Okay.
Sure.
Also, got to balance the RP scales a little bit. Rory, you just you just get the last bit of the fire out when your cell phone rings. It's Wretch's number, one of his burners. I don't know how you'd have him in your cell phone.
Hey, slightly occupied. It's important.
You hear like coughing.
Reg, you okay?
They took your the Nick.
The Rock.
Yeah. I
Who
couldn't.
did?
First lighters, but they were led by one of ours.
You know who?
He goes on to describe an older, bookish gentleman. As his words sort of barely come through the phone, you're immediately assaulted by like images and memories of Robert.
Obviously, blood sorcerer of some kind, but
I know who it is.
He was doing some big things, Rory.
I don't doubt it.
Old school things. Pre-pyramid annihilation shit.
Mm-hmm. Are you all right?
I took a few of them with me, but they got me pretty good. They didn't count on my heart. Well, let's just say I was a pet before I was a spy, and guy who used to keep me didn't treat me great, but there were some side effects that aren't bad.
Okay.
so the stakes didn't take. And
Can you
the
can you get to
fire's
the
gonna
house?
the fire rounds that fucking dragon fire
Jesus.
shit's gonna take a little bit to heal, but
We should have some blood on hand if you can get to the house.
I'm a little too old for that. I'm afraid.
Fuck's sake. All right.
Sasha can fix.
But
Thank you for doing what you could. Holding as long as you did.
Fortitude doesn't go as long as it used to, does it?
Man. All right.
That was meta humor. He doesn't soak. You don't soak ag like you used to.
Find somewhere safe. We'll be in touch.
I'm sorry about your rock. I said I'd keep
Hey.
it safe.
You did what you could, and I appreciate that, and I still owe you. Don't think I don't know.
I don't know how they found it. The junkyard's never been breached before. Maybe it's that creep Ashley brought in, or maybe you have.
I have a couple of ideas. Don't worry about it. I'll handle it. You heal.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I can't pay you back if you're fucking dead. So don't fucking die.
Any idea why Dwayne dropped from the raid?
They got kidnapped.
My cousin was telling me he just fucking dropped.
Yeah.
Kidnapped.
First light hit the house right before we got here. They took everyone, I think.
They must have hit you the same time I got hit. The fuck is going on, Rory? Wait.
I don't know.
I suppose I'm
I wasn't
usually has to answer that, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't home when it happened. So I don't know, but I'm gonna fucking find out.
Well, shit. This isn't how I wanted to spend my weekend.
I get that. You need anything, you call.
Ditto.
Appreciate it.
His phone clicks off.
God damn it. Sam!
You see like Sam's apron, you know, what he would cook in, soaked in blood and tattered, hanging like torn across the corner of a cabinet. And that's where we cut to Sasha. You can't blink through a door, unfortunately, and you sort of like the basement area.
I mean, can you open a door while you're blinking and go through? Like,
I mean, you can like
if you can't blink, if you can't phase through the door, just like open the door.
No, I mean you can still go fucking fast as hell though. Like you can, you know, you're like click,
yeah,
like you're still like zipping around, right?
Yeah.
The point was suspense though. Like you're a blur of motion as you approach this door, and it kind of, you know, in the basement, and you would have like a, you know, the sort of like a sort of standard basement door. You get down there, you probably have like just sort of a nothing super elaborate, but just some shelves, and you wind through them in a particular way, and you get to a sort of like reinforced door. And this is the one I'm kind of talking about, where where it would take some doing. It's heavy, you know, like a 500-pound door.
Sure.
One of those like big security ones. That would be in like
Okay.
like a doomsday prepper's basement, for their like
Sure.
bomb shelter or whatever. And this is where you would slow for a moment in the blur of motion that you've become. It is partially ajar already.
But that doesn't seem right.
And on the other side, continuing your 3 successes, you can hear like the sort of like the clicking, the sort of electric, like you have heightened senses. You can hear the sort of electric click of a walkie-talkie engaging and disengaging. You may not necessarily be able to hear what they're saying because how they're rigged up to be silent and stuff, with the earpiece being like physically inside the ear and so on and so forth, and a mere 3 successes, but you can actually hear that. If you've ever been around like a walkie-talkie, you can hear the like click of the electricity sort of in and out. I suppose you can hear muffled commands and stuff being issued through them, but you can't quite make out what it is in any great detail. Just things like clear and returning, and just little
I
snippets of.
I have a question. So I am doing shit at celerity speed, right? Because I have silence of death, am I detectable if I try to get closer to this activity noise?
Not until you take a violent action.
Okay, then I am not going to take a violent action yet. I just want to get closer to see what I can hear.
And they specify that picking locks does not count as a violent action for breaking celerity.
Yeah, but the door's already...
Or for breaking obfuscate.
Great. So I'm going to go through the door that's already a little bit open and try to get closer.
I love to point out the lock picking thing, because then people go, well, if picking a lock isn't a violent action, is and then that's where like the mental gymnastics start to come out, like, and how far you can possibly push an obfuscate action before it breaks. They also
I don't need that right now.
No,
Door's
you can
open.
get through the door and you are completely, silent as the grave.
I want to get as close as possible. Like, if I could find some place to hide and like listen.
Yeah.
To whatever the radio. So whatever's coming from the radio.
This is a sort of like a bunker, like many places in the Midwest. Believe it or not, there, Chicago, Milwaukee, even as like far north as like Green Bay area and stuff. Which would be the heading towards Canada, were part of the Underground Railroad. And in fact, my basement was connected to the like my house, and then our neighbor's house and stuff had a connection between them that I can take you in the basement and show, like, here it is, and you can go to my neighbor's basement and you can see where it is that they were connected through the brick and stuff. Cool. A lot of downtown area. The point being is that Ashley Dame's house was one such of the older houses that would have been connected to the Underground Railroad, which had, in many cases, had a literal underground, extra room in the cellar or like a tunnel that went someplace else to a neighbor's house, or whatever. And if you happen to be kindred, would be really awesome for making like a sub basement, or like a sort of like a separate chamber or something like that, to rather than fill it in like a lot of these houses did. As we.
Why did Nos love the house? Because there's that extra
as
underground space.
Yeah, so point is like this is sort of like one of those chambers. So it's actually like all brick wall, like we're talking just brick. It is an brick enclosure, if you've seen like a cobbled stone road, except on all 4 sides of you once you get past that door. So it's just brick, brick everywhere. except for the ceiling actually be 3 sides and then a poured concrete ceiling.
Impressive that they have a radio signal. If I can hear what's going on,
So what
I
you
will.
would do, and that's the thing that you've heard, is the sort of static on the other end as they try to communicate. Now some frequencies are actually pretty solid at like penetrating rock. That's why like ham radio is really common in doomsday prepping.
Is this like a ham radio situation?
I'm just saying, like, radio frequencies are actually like
No.
a lot more resilient to.
No, I mean like in the basement right now. Is it a ham radio situation that I'm hearing? Like,
No,
is
you're
that what
hearing
this is?
the like First Lighters radios. Like 2 of them got separated or something. We don't know just yet.
Okay.
They're trying to like communicate and stuff like that. Like in terms of your NOS, they would have actually had to like drill like Wi-Fi mesh extenders and antenna like up and out through the brick, which is something I have to do for my job when we put like a cell card in a basement for like some of these old places. We have to like actually run a wire up to the roof of the building to get those security panels or cell signals. NOS would have an even more advanced version of doing something like that, you know. Yes.
Do I get the impression from the attempts at communication that they are still in the basement somewhere and they're trying to, because if they're lost, they're trying to find their way out?
So I let's finish the picture as you sort of have gone through the door. You have a long tunnel with a series of doorways off that would be different basement NOS rooms and stuff like that, and it would open up into a wide area. I don't know if it was Ashley Dame or whomever did it, but she really took this sort of sub chamber that the basement already kind of had and really built it out and built upon it, sort of excavating from underneath. And you built this whole like sort of underground like sort of sub I don't know, commune or something like that. Like it's just for a bunch of Nosferatu. It's almost like a dormitory for Nos and stuff like that. And at the sort of end of the hall, you can see 2 sort of paramilitary dressed individuals. And now that we sort of caught up in real time with them, you can hear them like shit. I'm not going back that way. You see her? I've never seen kindred that. She's crazy. That was insane. And they go on to describe like essentially Ashley, a kindred like of Ashley's roughest script must have got like in there and started like tearing up some of them, and they sort of separated from their group and they're sort of like heading back out this way, but they're keeping a wary eye sort of deeper into the chamber. Their backs happen to be to you because they're expecting Ashley Dame to sort of come down the corridor at any moment, and they're sort of backing out and like we need evac, we need sort of like calling into their radio like on like evac, and they're met with radio silence. It's not that you don't hear like static or anything like that. They're just whoever was on the other side coordinating stuff has just it's sort of abandoned them. They're just
how
apparently
many of them?
Organization like First Light is there's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a way for me to remain obscured, like getting closer to them? Like, I'd love to just
stealth. And if you have the third dot or second dot of unseen passage for obfuscate, you can just do that too.
Oh shit! Hold on. What do I have for my second dot? It is in fact unseen passage.
Yeah, so you can just
I have unseen passage. Can I just unseen passage?
Yeah. Although that one might have
Is that
a
a rouse check?
prerequisite of
Another
they
rouse
might have
check?
a pre. Yes, it is. But that might have a prerequisite of taking.
Not being seen? What is it? Hold on, let me look at it. Sorry. Obfuscate is one that I have that I don't get to mess with as often as I'd like. Okay.
It is a rouse check for unseen passage.
Yeah, it's a rouse check. The
Yeah.
question is because you have
Nah.
Silence of the Grave.
Silence of Death. Yeah.
Or
Sounds of
Silence
Death.
of Death, sorry.
Yeah.
And
What
you might need Cloak of Shadows to do Unseen
Mm,
Passage.
As long as it only works
No.
if it. No.
Oh no.
No,
Okay,
there's
you're
no
fine then.
prerequisite.
Okay, cool.
All
In
right.
which case?
So I will rouse to ninja.
All right,
I
sounds
will
good.
rouse to ninja. All right, so I'm gonna do that. Boom. Ooh, these guys are gonna be in real trouble. Because I'm at 4 hunger now. Those guys are. Well, I mean, those guys sound like dinner to me. Anyway, so I'm gonna do an unseen passage situation, and then I basically just want to get the jump on them. So as soon as I detect an opening, I'm gonna ambush them.
Yeah, so they're like I said, those like they're doing that thing where like they're sort of like backing up together and they've got like little SMGs sort of like facing away from you as they're sort of making their way back towards one of them sort of got the hand on the shoulder of the other and is sort of looking toward the door where you are but are now flipping invisible, sort of covering the six, and they're just like sort of like like fuck it, nobody's on the radio, fuck it, like we got to get out of here on our own.
So they're gonna try to go through the door, right?
Yes.
Because they don't see me, they're gonna try to go through the door.
Mhm.
So what I'd like to do. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so stupid. I feel like doing something stupid. Okay, wait. I would like to, as soon as they get close enough to the door, I would like to just jump out and like attempt to knock them over, like drop kick them or something. Just kick them in the face.
Are you gonna try to like kick both simultaneously, like jump up and do like a
Well,
split
no,
kick
like
and hit both, or
or
drop kick
or
one into
have
the other? Like,
yeah, something like that, or just try to knock them over.
okay, so once they get past you, you want to do the said drop
No,
kicking?
but like right before they get to the. Oh yeah, because there's gonna be a wall, right? So they're just gonna hit the wall.
Yeah,
Because it's a narrow hallway.
it
I
is
want to do
decently
that.
narrow. Yeah.
I want to do that. Once they get like right in front of me, I'm gonna kick them as hard as possible into the wall.
Okay.
Like kick one and then knock the other one over. Like do a domino effect situation.
Okay. So here's the thing: is you're invisible and you're attacking them, which means you're attacking against a defensive one. So just roll all your dice. This is an ambush attack.
Okay.
And you'll automatically have a bonus success.
Kickboxing. Kickboxing,
Yeah,
yes.
go ahead.
Kickboxing.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 5. Strength or dexterity?
Brawl. I mean, it can be either or because it's kind of like
5,
how in
7,
Power
8.
Rangers you can do martial arts, which can be like your dex base, right? Like because it's finesse and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or it can be more of like a boxing strength style. It's
8. All right. Let's see how well this goes.
So it's your call.
6 successes.
Okay, which means you have 5 successes against the one. And I'm just going to split it between the two, basically, with the one that is drop kicked taking the primary amount of damage, so taking 3, and the other takes the 2. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this pencil sucks.
Oh man. I love it. EW drama and violence in the same night. I'm feeling real good about this. Yeah.
It's just an episode of
Get it.
Arrow.
All right, and you had the intent, sort of a, we'll call it a call to action to knock them to the ground, which does so. Now you can imagine that your obfuscate is broken as you do this sort of like drop kick, and it's almost like a King from Tekken style, where you drop kick, land on your elbows, and so you're able to kind of roll back onto your feet right away in a low stance. So this is where that was a surprise. I will go ahead and give you initiative again because you're a vampire and they're humans, and they have just been like knocked down. Fuck! They missed one. We missed one. Is that her? No, it's not her.
I am going to.
Oh God, it's the hot one.
Oh no, it's the hot one. She's even worse. We've heard. Intel said she's even worse.
Put aside your weak.
Oh shit! Gravion being
Holy
raiding
smokes.
us with
Alright.
21 folks.
20.
Is
Hey,
it
welcome,
Gravion or
Raiders.
Gravon? I really perhaps
I like
Gravion.
Gravion better.
I like Gravion. I like Gravon
Gravion.
personally. Like
I like
get your
Gravion on
Grave-
most things.
like get your grave on. Like cheers. And
Welcome, Raiders. I'm about to do a violence.
ahoy.
For
We wake-
context,
Happy
Hot
best month, everybody.
Hot Toreador doing violence.
Yeah, Hot Toreador doing Hot Toreador shit.
Oh God, it's the hot one.
Is that really how they reacted? Or is that just Michael being a shit?
It's been a minute,
Yes.
Grave.
Okay. What do I do? Do I point blank shoot this guy's brains off, or do I go for a snack? Oh, that's what
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna do.
I
I'm gonna
didn't
go
wake
for a
up and you
snack.
can't do
I'm
that.
gonna eat the. I'm gonna eat the shit out of this guy. The
You're
guy on
gonna
the
eat
floor.
the
one who
shit
took-
out of this guy.
I would like to. The guy who took primary damage. I want to like grab him and go for the throat, like an apple.
Oh, good. All right. So this is going to be a brawl, right? Plus
Yep.
strength because it's a pretty
Yep.
straightforward grapple. And it's a bite attack, which always does an amount to ag. What is like one ag or whatever? Or yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, roll your dice first whilst I look up how fucked he is.
how biting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this guy is super fucked. 7 successes. That's 7.
Wow.
7 successes, kind of fucked.
Well, he does actually get his defense this time.
I mean, that's
However,
still
you
fucked.
add one more die to your pool, by the way, because he is knocked down, actually.
Okay, I'll
Red
roll another
attack,
one.
213.
Bite attacks. Here we go.
Okay, so it's 8 successes actually, because I added the other die.
Oh, I suppose you're supposed to have a 1 success penalty. That'll just offset the fact that he's knocked down, so ignore what I said about the bonus.
Okay, then it's 7 successes.
2 points of damage.
Yeah, it's just-
aggravated.
It just
to
says 2
vampires
points and
and
it'll
mortals.
like 1 hunger.
Uh,
Yeah.
on turns following, you can just continue using it as a straw.
Just like an apple. Just snack time. So it's Lake's 1 hunger?
Yep.
Fantastic.
And then you can like kind of stay latched on, and like continue to.
like a... Yep. Great. Fun times in the basement.
Fun times in the basement.
So it does 2 ag. He's considering the like original, like the OG damage. He's
That's-
not looking too good. Like you feel this sort of like deep. You like crunch the like I don't know. Is the clavicle the one in the around the neck area? I don't know. I don't
It's
know
like
exactly.
clavicles. This one.
Yeah, it's like here. Yeah. You can feel like the like the sort of like snapping, popping, as you like the clavicle gives because this ag damage plus the like Capri, like you're doing some serious damage, as in he's into penalties and he's not hanging on. Like you're fairly convinced like a quick chop to the neck would like break his neck and kill him at this point. Like he is not doing too good. One more turn of this, you know, and he may not survive it. Anyway, this first lighter has turned into a Capri Sun, or an ecto cooler, if you will.
I think Sasha, because she's cocky or whatever, she looks at the other guy on the ground and says, "You're next."
No. Like,
after she takes a drink, or maybe before. I don't know what the appropriately dramatic version is.
yeah. So my house rule for all RPGs is 7 words as a free action, right? I have no idea where this came from. This has just been the house rule forever. So you're next is a free action. You can somehow say you're next while because it's a free action whilst drinking the blood somehow. You just like you're next. You know, you take a quick break and whatever. It is.
you can't just like, you know, you don't want to get the kindred equivalent of brain freeze. You got to take your time. That's why
and definitely like when you take the second to say that, like the guy spurts blood on the other dude's cheek, and he's like,
oh yeah, like yeah, like we go into full ultra violence mode, right? Like this is Daybreaker's third act, like levels of gore.
Oh no, I'm covered in Daniel.
Daybreakers, super dope vampire movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it's the Ethan Hawke slays it, and then the third act is one of the greatest third acts in any vampire film ever. Not really scary. Very heavy-handed metaphor about how like capitalism is the capitalism's the vampire, by the way, everybody. It's capitalism's the vampire. Super heavy-handed metaphor.
The vampire we needed all along.
but pretty dope. And more of a Garu, Simply Wicked, more of a Garu yourself. Yo, when we did Gen Con, the werewolf game I ran was actually I ran Hunter, Werewolf, and Vampire for 28 hours. Werewolf was the favorite game I ran that weekend. So shout outs to you, Simply Wicked, for having good taste. Speaking of good taste, bad segue game. So you say you're next, blood spurts at the other one in a panic, just sort of like, goes to open up on you with this, just kind of stays sitting and just sort of like shoots, sort of sprays the hallway with these dragon fire rounds. This is bad news, Bears.
Yes.
So, given the proximity, however, I think it would be possible for you to roll like an opposed brawl to sort of like position his partner in between you and the bullets. You're not so much trying to beat the speed of bullets, even though you do have celerity, come to think of it, but as you are just sort of like anticipating the gun coming up and sort of, you know, moving ahead of time.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the opposed brawl.
Yeah, so that's if you want to use a meat shield. If you want to like just straight up dodge, you can roll the usual you know, dexterity.
The dexterity athletics. No, I'm going to have him try to use his buddy as a meat shield, because why not? I'm gonna rouse to add 3 more dice, because why not?
Do you get hungrier? I mean, does it matter?
I do not. I do not this time.
What matter for me here in a second?
I mean, I do have a snack, so it's not really that bad of a situation if I did get hungrier. Roll. Oh, 9 successes. Possible messy crit.
I mean, it's definitely a messy critical. Explain to me how messy this critical. Paint to me a picture with your words and this guy's blood, dear Tori.
I think she kind of just like, she's like having a good time. She's grabbing a snack, but then she, I guess because you know, vampire senses or whatever, she can tell he's about to shoot her, because you'd be dumb not to try to shoot the vampire who's trying to eat your friend. But she swings over to like look at this guy trying to shoot her and just takes his buddy along with her. So when he shoots her, the body gets swung forward, and this guy is like barely hanging on to life, and he gets like a whole bunch of bullets, I guess, because it's a machine gun, right? He
Yeah,
just
it's a submachine gun. Yeah.
Gets a submachine gun. He gets sprayed with bullets as she's not even trying, right? She just like carelessly swings him around because
He's like
she's
ragdolling
hungry.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "What the fuck, man?" And then she looks at her snack and just says, "Sucks, man." Just like,
Broke my Lunchable.
So
just the goofiest shit.
Your snack, your ecto cooler, your Lunchable here is riddled with like these sort of pulsing, metallic heat holes as the Dragonfire rounds slag the flak jacket the dude's wearing. You can still see like the sort of embers glowing inside, like where the bullets puncture. He's dead. Oh, he's dead. Like he is. Like this isn't like a little dead where like you're in a coma and you can roll to save versus death and all that. No, he's dead. Way dead.
Just tosses the dead guy aside and just says, "Well, whoops."
You only got
Do I hear a machine gun?
So the Metal Gear Solid fan in me is making these SOCOMs, and so no.
Okay.
SOCOMs, sorry, it's SOCOMs, Super SOCOMs.
Super Soakers.
Yeah, SOCOMs. Yeah.
God, I love this so much.
Oh,
okay.
I only have like 2 settings. It's like soul wrenching drama and hyperviolence. They're like the only 2 settings.
This is why I love playing at this table, because it hits both of my favorite things. Go again?
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah.
Grab the other guy. It's like, well, you messed with my snack. Just grab him.
Is he snack
I try to grab him.
Is he snack time?
Replacement snack.
Yeah, well, time to get a replacement snack, I guess.
Okay.
All right. So I am going to. Where's this? Yeah. Boink. Okay. Not as good as it's 5 successes, messy crit. So many messy crits.
So you can do your 2 ag. And since you did messy critical, and this one's also already damaged plus terrified, I would like for you to describe to me your fatality on him, basically.
I feel like it's a simple going for the jugular, like maximizing the amount of blood I'm getting. I'm just like, just sink my teeth into this guy's neck as deep as I can to rip a chunk open so I can. I'm still kind of hungry. It's fine.
A little peckish.
Just a little peckish. So I'm down to 2 hunger now. But yeah, I basically just rip his throat open. Casual throat ripping.
All right.
Throat rip Thursday.
Just rip his throat open.
Tuesday, actually.
You're
throat
on a
rip
scale
Tuesday.
of like 1 to carry. How much viscera and gore is now on your really awesome jacket? Or is it mostly like your face and shirt and stuff like that? The other Sasha who you erased from existence, it was probably like a nice like leather that cleans easily. She knew.
Okay, so here's what I was thinking, right? I think that actually because she's eating
the jacket.
I think because she's eating, most of the carry levels of blood is actually on her face. Like, because
Yeah,
she
okay.
went for the jugular, right? But she does get like a decent amount on the new jacket, and so it's like mid-level
Yeah, like
messy on her jacket, but it's mostly on her face, like a kid trying to eat spaghetti. Like
Yeah.
obviously the kid's gonna wear
Yeah.
the food, but it's
Yeah.
mostly on the kid's face.
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Okay.
That energy.
Not Double Dare final course like levels of messy. It's like
It's not the levels of messy from the warehouse that fight. No, not like
Okay.
Carrie.
yeah,
full
we gotta have
Carrie.
degrees. It's gotta be like a this is
No, this is
you gotta have the
this
contrast.
is a
It's very important.
no. This is just like average Tuesday levels of gore.
It was Tuesday. All right.
So it was a Tuesday.
With that, combat has dropped for the time being, and
Is there anyone else?
these stragglers,
I guess I could have asked them.
kind of seem to be it. Their radios, yeah, like there's nothing coming out through like on the other side of the radio or anything like that. They got the little, the one who's less riddled with bullet holes, but
I
has
would
less
like
of
to
a knack is
smash. I'd like to smash the radios. Just straight
You
up
could have-
destroy them.
By the way, you could have taken a little extra, sort of moment on this one as they were dying and slaked one more hunger, if you wish.
Oh, so I can do that? I'll go to all the way down to 1? Okay.
You could
Perfect.
go to 0. Well, I guess you killed them
Oh.
either way, so you could have killed. I mean, if you want to go there.
No, I would have done what I could to like feed.
Okay.
So all the way down to 0?
Yeah.
Gore. Hey, look. might as well do something
You could
useful
say
with the
that
intruder.
murder is fulfilling.
Hey, listen.
What's your
I took
humanity
care
out
of
of
the
curiosity?
intruder. Mine?
Uh-huh.
7.
Okay.
Hey, look, I took care of the intruders. I defended the house.
Mhm.
And I got a
What's your predator type?
Siren.
Okay.
I mean, they kind of didn't have time to own them.
I mean, I feel like
you got
they.
time now, I guess.
Yeah. Necrophilia.
No,
Read the content
no,
again. And do I have to add necrophilia to the content more? It technically is
no.
necrophilia if 2 vampires bone, because they're both dead already,
I mean, technically.
or if they're
It's-
undead.
it's-
Yeah, but is it
it's super
necrophilia if there's
necrophilia at that point.
consent? Is it
Because
still
they-
necrophilia if there's
because they
consent?
have will and they can consent.
Yeah.
These are hard hitting questions. I don't think I can I can contemplate right now.
Okay, the point is, I'm not hungry anymore, and these guys are dead. Okay. And there's nobody else. Like, if I take a good look around the basement, no one else is fucking with the house.
Correct.
I'm gonna take these corpses up the stairs, just dispose of it appropriately. And by, I don't know, I'll take them upstairs. I'll take them upstairs and ask Rory what to do with these dead bodies. I'm sure he'll want to set them on fire or something. I'm just gonna clear the basement of them. Like, take their stuff, their guns. Ooh, yeah, keeping the guns. I'll take their guns and smash their radios in case someone tries to like communicate with them. Whoops, what is my...
All right. You head back up and you would find Rory there. After your cursory look around the basement, you look around the basement before heading back up. You kind of sweep it. You sort of at the sort of central common area, where the sort of network of tunnels begin into like classic Nosferatu shit, right? Like network of tunnels and stuff that some of them connect into the storm sewers, and others are more I'd say man-made, but definitely kindred made. There's like evidence of struggle all about, bullet holes in the brick and damaged electronics, and D. Cube of Mountain Dew like having been exploded, and dripping, Baja Blast dripping from the nooks and crannies of some of the brickwork, and you'd notice the violence is sort of in two layers. Just from your auspex heightened sentences, you can gather the, like the heat differentials and like some of the blood that's been spilled and so on and so forth. And you can tell that, that there's sort of, the first layer of violence, which was like the sort of shock and awe, like, SWAT style assault to the basement that happened fast and loud and quick, and a couple sort of charred skeletons where the Nos didn't quite survive the Dragonfire assault. A couple charred skeletons or dust piles depending on age, right? And then there's a second layer of violence, which is the gore of the bastards who weren't quick enough and Ashley caught. And so there's like a few more, like there's some other first lighter corpses that didn't quite make it. And you have seen Ashley frenzy before. I think you actually like tandem frenzied with her once upon a time. This has her hand work, right? Like that, like sort of twisted skeleton sort of.
I'm pretty sure it happened.
Nightmare creature.
It happened in the what is it? The Outlook Tavern or whatever. It was during that whole thing. We were both really hungry. I remember that. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
Flashbacks. So you get sort of like flashbacks to like that time she frenzied in the Overlook Tavern or whatever it was, right? Like and the violence that she inflicted there. So you can see Ashley's sort of and the sort of gore trail heads out one of these storm exits, and it almost paints a picture in violence of like sort of Ashley getting down here and like catching the last few first lighters as they were leaving, and like essentially like cutting a swath and chasing them down as they retreated in multiple different tunnels, and she chose one path and sort of like went after them, and you can see where that trail just sort of like leads and becomes less of a trail and more of a splatter, and the splatter becomes less of a splatter and more of something more alarming, like chunks and just nastiness. And there's a point where the evidence of Ashley's frenzy is somehow worse in ways that are difficult to process.
Wait,
like the bodies aren't so much torn up as they are unraveled into gore. Like they were little yarn puppets and someone plucked at the wrong string and they just sort of crumpled and unraveled. They were unmade.
What?
The bodies that are identifiable, you notice all of them are missing their eyes, but they're not like plucked in that sort of manner. They are. It's as if they've been scratched over and over and over again. Like somebody took a Polaroid picture and scribbled out the eyes.
What the fuck? Is there any signs of Ashley? Like where she might have gone or if she's still around?
Thanks, Incantabot. He always got my back. Again, this trail of gore just kind of leads off into the tunnels, and this is where it's like you can head back to Rory and like regroup, or you're going to be chasing corpses into the night. Ashley's like had a decent head start on you, and from the intensity this gore is increasing, the unnaturalness, it might be worth getting Rory before you continue, at the very least.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go upstairs and just, I guess, leave the 2 corpses in the pile of other corpses that Ashley destroyed, and she's just gonna toss it over. Look, so Sasha's logic here is that, oh hey, Ashley made this mess. I'm just gonna leave my mess here to blend in, so she can't get mad at me because she made the mess, and then she just walks up. She walks up to the main floor.
Hey, don't get carried away now, Sub-Zero.
Listen. Meanwhile.
Yeah. So meanwhile, and now we've caught back up because you celerity'd down there. You were well ahead of Rory. Combat sort of like and a little bit of investigation sort of like reaches an equilibrium to sort of coming back up the stairs to find Rory picking up a scrap of Sam's apron.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like the blood. I'm gonna put a little of my pinky and do taste for blood.
Yep.
Is 4 successes.
You're
or well, more. I guess is it a ghoul? I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd say like I like to make magic a little more magical, and you have a familiarity with Sam. Like this is Sam's blood.
Rory, what's going on?
Well, this is Sam's blood.
Fuck.
And I'd say that you can even get a bit of the sort of resonance of not the resonance in like the game terms resonance, but you can sort of like go into dip into a little bit of the effect side of things, but you can get the sort of vibe of like sort of fear and anger, and yeah, so you can, and you even get the sense that like this vitae like isn't stale or stagnant. Like this is, this came from someone living, right? All right, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Found a couple of stragglers downstairs, first light, but it looks like Ashley took care of most of them. She used one of the underground passages downstairs to run off.
The ones you found, are they?
Oh, they're super dead.
All right. Did they have anything on them? Did you get the radios?
I smashed them. I smashed radios.
We could have listened to their movement.
Nobody was talking. They abandoned their dudes. I took the guns though, and she she comes back with 2 of the guns. Look, there's a whole bunch of dead corpses downstairs. If you want to grab
Probably radio down
radios from there,
Okay.
but
Maybe.
Ashley fucked them up. The ones that I killed, I destroyed their radios. Then I found like a whole bunch of others, and I was like, wait, I'm not gonna go smashing all of these radios. And then tossed a couple. I just tossed a couple more bodies in the chamber, and
Okay. All right.
yeah, they're down there if you want to take a closer look.
Is there any sign of Sam's body? Are there drag marks, like finger marks on the walls of like him trying to defend himself, like not being dragged away, like corpses of good friends laying around? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, this would be the thing. If is Rory heading down there too? Or are you all going back down there and like kind of investigating?
For right now, I'm sticking up here.
Okay.
Because I mean, they would have they came in. I am assuming that they came in up top and they pincered from the, from the basement and from the top level.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if they took Sam out, they most likely took him out ground level.
So go ahead and roll an investigation intelligence.
Yep.
And honestly, since you're already kind of on the right train of thought, like, yeah, they seem to have, the pincer attack seems logical, and there's like some struggle and stuff to sort of see, without looking in the basement, but going off of Sasha's word, like that lines exactly up with what you're observing.
Can I apply deduction?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Ashley, how's it going, Shelly? How are things in the upside down?
What's up?
Are the toilets flowing
They've been
in
subscribed
reverse?
for 10 years.
Like, and thank you for supporting the channel for 10 years.
Oh dear Lord. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 messy critical. Where's my Sam?
Why don't you describe to me how your beast sort of maybe usurps or joins in on the investigation to make this a messy critical?
Oh.
Like, do you like start to actually like break some drawers and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah, I think a little bit. Yeah, a little of the, like, not quite like a full frenzy, but the blood cells rise and start, or the veins. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The blood cells start
Yeah.
to rise and grow a little
There's
bit.
probably
Like one eye kind of like gets the glow, just the one,
Mhm.
as
I feel
sort of like he just offhandedly is sort of like goes to open a drawer, and the drawer opens before he gets his hand fully on it, and sort of just pulls it out the rest of the way, and it just sort of, and I guess just sort of starts tearing up the house.
Yeah.
I think he's a
Yeah.
little frantic from Sasha's perspective, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
frantic.
and again, with the messy criticals, it's very much like it becomes evident in certain actions that this is like, it's not necessarily like full on masquerade breach, like per se, but if there were Kine observing, there would be like, whatever just happened isn't right, like there would be that moment of like, and you have that, but obviously from the insider perspective, like this is Rory, and you recognize Rory's franticness. You even see that sort of like, I don't call it like quite a feral edge in Rory's case, but like that mystic feral, sort of edge that Rory gets. The one eye sort of giving a little sort of trace, glow of some sort, and the veins popping a little bit with like the mystic ruins, like the blood magic, sort of just the traces of it as he's sort of instinctually relying on it to sort of augment his search, right?
Mm.
And with your messy critical and your 7 successes, I believe, 8 successes, you corroborate exactly what you were thinking. This was a coordinated assault. It was very fast, and it was from multiple angles. Like you even they even had some sort of like souped up drones, per the Hunter book, Drone Jockey, assault the top floor. Yo, gifted a tier 1 sub to XO Girl Wonder. Thank you so much for gifting that sub.
Oh, thank you.
And also allowing me to see the Ruby Rod all night long animation.
Jesus.
All night long. The Ruby Rod gifts go back to my original stream, by the way. I was talking about 11 years ago I started doing this thing. Before I had a rebrand, I kept the Ruby Rod stuff. Name a movie that isn't vastly improved by the addition of Ruby Rod, by the way. Like, they're all improved. Like, go take Star Wars Phantom Menace, take out Jar Jar Binks, put in Ruby Rod. Instantly a better movie.
No, you're not wrong.
Best viewers on get banned. All right. So even the evidence of like sophisticated drones, not the types that, not even like the types that you encountered back at JW's apartment, way yonder. Those were more traditional. These are like, sci-fi sophisticated, moving in 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions easily, with high-tech weaponry, doing things that were pretty sophisticated, right? You see evidence of like just of like maybe Sam or somebody else managed to like fight back at it, and there's like little remnants of one of these drone pieces, and things like that you find sort of on the staircase that might have easily been missed if not for your enhanced searching techniques, right? You were able to find these remnants, and sort of just for whatever reason, like you read in a book one time about like theoretical drone stuff, and you're like, holy shit, this is like a theoretical part. It just, again, 8 successes, messy, critical. It just happens that what this is, right? So you get this like sophisticated drone. You suspect from like the damage, like a couple of the windows, the way like it's a smaller, relatively smaller. This isn't somebody like kicking in through the window. It's a craft coming through the window, right? That there were multiple. The number of which is difficult because you could have an entrance and an exit. Like, yeah, the glass would be like smashed out, but like with bullets firing, there's glass everywhere. But you'd suspect like 2 to 3 of these took the top floors, right? You had the sort of standard sort of SWAT style assault on the main floor, and then you had the network of tunnels beneath compromised somehow. This was big. This was, I'd say that it was a like an overuse or an exorbitant amount of force, but honestly, it was probably the right amount of force to pull this off.
There were quite a few Nosferatu in that basement, so yeah.
Right, and y'all are and have. This is a Primogen's house. Whether First Light knows about Primogens, and whether they know the intricacies of y'all's politics, even if they do have kindred working with them, how much the kindred working with them would give them the inside track.
The home of an elder of some standing.
Yeah, they might not. Yeah. They're keep in mind the First Inquisition started because kindred tried to use kindred to kill other kindred. That's how that's the World of Darkness version of how the Inquisition started. Is like essentially kindred tried to use the church to like kill their own enemies, and then in doing so, humans kind of got found out and we're like, wait a second, vampires are real? Holy shit. And that's kind of how that's the plot of the original Inquisition. this seems to be kind of playing out like the inverse. Is what you're kind of observing, whereas like First Light seems to have found out about Kindred, and a few opportunistic Kindred are like, wait a second, maybe we can use this. And so how much they would have told First Light, whatever, but you've definitely seen it's becoming apparent to you that this was a massive use of force, a lot of resources, months of planning, just from like the evidence. Like an assault like this is like, you doubt they'd be able to just like do another one of these right away. By the way, is kind of I guess between the lines of your investigation is like, this took a lot. You're not sure what the capabilities of First Light are per se, but like, you know that like in Kindred resource world, like, were you to try to do this on somebody else's haven, like, you'd be pulling in contacts, you'd be trading some boons, like this would be an undertaking, and
big deal. Yeah.
you hope that there's some parallels there in what it would take for a kind organization to do this, but it was
and I'll say that while putting all of this together, Rory is sort of narrating his investigation / talking to his beast. So Sasha picks up like half the conversation as Rory is like double checking facts with his beast. Like, is this what you see this too? Like, and this the drones and and just like,
the beast.
Hey, look, cuz, don't neither of us need to go getting on First Light radars, but it seems we're smack dab in the middle of it already, huh?
Without even trying that hard. Yeah. We did something.
They got Sam.
We know someone.
They got Sammy. Took him alive though, huh?
Yeah.
That's well, I don't know, that could be good or bad. I'm thinking it's real bad.
I'm gonna hope it's good for now.
Good in that he's alive. Bad in that they're
he's
torturing
alive.
him. They're torturing him.
I know.
Hurting him all kinds of bad.
Rory? What's going on?
What?
I'm only getting half of whatever you're saying.
I mean, sorry. So, it's just sort of dropped like the fugue.
Mm-hmm.
Was I narrating again?
A little bit, yeah, but I wasn't getting the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're fucked. High-tech drone. This was a hit. This was a well-planned hit on multiple fronts. They didn't just hit us here. They hit Wretch. They took the rock.
Are you kidding?
Absolutely not.
No, this is bad on so many levels. They have Zoran on their side.
Zoran's fucking dead. What are you talking about?
No, he's not.
The cherry tree thing clicks. What did you do?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not 100% sure I understand what happened.
But somehow you brought him back. And now he's what? Kidnapping our friends?
I went someplace where my art did something.
The
I.
room.
What do you know
The
about the
room
room?
the room I wasn't supposed to be in. It has to, I'm assuming it was different for you at some other point. You were there more than once.
Uh,
The room of you, I'm gonna call it, I guess.
yeah, I didn't think I don't know what happened. I just I drew on the wall and I thought
Oh, my darling girl.
I
Oh,
I, I didn't he didn't come back right.
of course not. You changed time, reality. You fucked with the fundamental forces.
But I don't do magic. I don't do anything powerful. I
You were somewhere outside space-time in that room. I don't understand what that room was. All I knew is I was not welcome,
I was
but somehow
I wasn't I wasn't me. I wasn't this. I was just
Lexi,
mortal.
I remember.
It wasn't she wasn't me. She wasn't this. She was
I know.
mortal. She was weak. How did she mess this up? How did I mess this up?
She wasn't weak. You're not weak. There's so many kinds of strength.
I I'm not the kind of person that changes things. I'm the person who fights against the status quo. I things don't change.
You wanted something in the place where what you want becomes reality.
Apparently not what I want.
There's always a price.
I have a question. Do you have the heart?
I was getting there. We got to check. It's in my room. Let's go find out. I head up to my room, scoot my bed, lift the floorboard. Is there a heart?
There,
Did it disappear?
you get to the part where you're up to your room and about to scoot the bed, and there's the telltale sign of heart. Edgar Allan Poe. No, telltale heart. Yeah. There's the telltale signs of your bed having already been moved and the rug not being put back down like exactly as it should, and the board being smashed open rather than delicately removed, and the box it was in there opened and whatever was inside missing. And as you're like staring at it, like you have that memory of Zoran giving you his heart, but it's like playing in reverse. It's and instead of this interaction where he's like, you know, you always had her heart, you know, that this soulful sort of thing, it's some sort of confrontation instead, and the words don't quite make sense, and you can't really hear it. It's just muffled noises, and you're left with an impression and emotions rather than the memory. And as you sort of try to, like, you know one of those things you're supposed to do if you're not sure if you're lucid dreaming or if it's real, is you're supposed to try to think what happened before and what happened before and what happened before. And as you do that, things just make less and less sense as you try to go back from that point. This memory doesn't sync up. And the only words you can make out aren't "you already had her heart," it's you stole her heart from me. I'm gonna steal something from you.
So it's something that I'm remembering.
Me.
You don't. It's
Oh.
Rory.
Oh, it's Rory. Okay.
You remember? You probably have the other side, and you have that like the total lie but great line from Mad Men that nostalgia is like
Yeah.
the pain of like totally bullshit and made up. But like you have that moment where you're having the pain of losing this memory of that moment where he said, I gave you my heart, and you're like, no, put it back, blah blah blah. That's playing in your mind again, and you're like, no, like that didn't happen. No, that didn't. Oh my god, like he didn't give me his heart. Like, and you're reconciling it from that angle of like of the kind of beauty in him giving his heart to you, kind of literally, but then also the awareness that didn't happen. That like ultimate sacrifice for you might not have happened. That it's different. This Zoran, maybe he didn't care about you that much, or maybe he did something worse. Or what does this box mean? How can this be here if he didn't do that? Did he do that? And now the confusion and the alarm and the pain of this memory trying to remove itself from you.
God damn it, Tasha.
No.
You did this.
I know.
You gave them Zoran.
I didn't mean
You gave
to.
them someone with the skills and the knowledge to find everything about us. He already knew you. Simple enough for someone of his caliber to backtrace everything we've done. They have the rock because of Zoran. They have Sam. They have Dwayne. They have everyone. God damn it. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, shit. All right. What's happened?
What do we do now?
We get them back. We have to find Ashley. We have to hit them back. Is my sword like in its customary place, or do they take it too?
Your sword would have like been glyphed the shit up and hidden. He would have been able to find the heart because there's some attachment to it, right? Like he'd be able to whatever. Yeah. Your sword would have been decently glyphed up and hidden. Like your sword's probably like inside of a like safe buried in the backyard, so that when you want to teleport it to you, it's always there. Like your sword's fine. Look,
Okay.
I might
I would have just
assault your haven, but I'm not a monster. I'm not going to steal your sword.
Yeah.
Like, what do I look like?
Just as a cursory measure, because I just had them in a drawer, like with my socks. Ivory. I assume Ivory's gone.
Yeah, Ivory's gone because it like shunted into like the reality got wobbly.
Yeah,
he never
reality
gave
changed,
you both the guns. The only
Yeah.
reason you have Ebony is because
She has Ebony.
is Sasha brought it back from the spiral room.
Okay. This is
And yes, Ebony and Ivory is a shameless, like Devil May Cry reference. It's the name of his pistols.
this is a clusterfuck of epic proportions. I'm not mad. I understand why you did it. In your shoes, honestly, I may have done the same. If it were you, yeah, I would have brought you back. But we have to deal with the consequences of that action now.
So your mirror has a reflection of you that's not you. Just kind of as you say that, like the arms are crossed and sort of like tapping on the like shoulder, just kind of like at the
totally, man.
at the sort of mention of if it were you, I would have totally done it to bring you back, and you're sort of like you catch a glimpse of your reflection. Sorry, it's not Baloo this time, but you you know that this is that other, right? Still watching you even here. It's the feeling, the menace of it feels blunted on account of the big stone no longer in your possession, but you still have the shard, right? Like that's, and so it's still, like there's still a connection there, and it just kind of doesn't say anything. Just and when you do a double take, your reflection goes back to being itself.
Right. I
went with a TV screen again, like a reflection in a TV screen again, but I didn't know if Rory had a TV screen in his room.
Oh, for certain.
Oh, in which case it was the reflection on the TV screen, because
Yeah.
I love the reflections on the TV way more than like a mirror and stuff.
All right. I need to eat so I can fucking concentrate a little bit better. I'm hoping that they didn't dump out our blood fridge.
So it's been sacked decently, but like it's been tossed, and there are some packets that you're able to find that are like suitable stuff. Okay, your supply is definitely like wrecked, but there's not you're as recent as it happened, like you're able to find a couple that are suitable.
Okay.
This doesn't make sense.
A few of your books are missing, alarmingly. Like they ransacked your book, like your books and stuff.
Oh fuck!
The bitches. So, how many hunger can I pop?
I'd say 2, 3. Why don't you roll a luck check?
All right.
D10, just a straight D10.
Grab a straight D10.
This doesn't make sense.
2.
2.
All right, that's fine. That puts me at 2, so I'll take it. Right in that 4 was not ideal.
Yeah, as your beast voice sort of like dulls in your head, it does manage a. She fucked us, cuz. She fucked us royal. Yeah. Didn't even spit on it first.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, Sasha, it makes an alarming amount of sense.
No, you and I were different, but we were still us.
We weren't dead. We just went somewhere else. You returned a soul to the not just the living, to the undead. That is some crazy fucking high level magic. That is not shit I would ever have any hope of even thinking to attempt. As a Tremere. As a mage? Maybe. You were in the right place at the wrong time. Or the wrong place at the right time. There's always a cost to this kind of thing.
Okay, what do we do now?
We regroup. We resupply. We kill all of them. In very likely including Zoran. It's a jumble in my brain, but I think he's sworn some sort of vendetta against me because this version of him has twisted and he thinks that I stole you from him. So he stole things from me.
Okay.
Maybe we can fix him. Maybe there's still a core of who he was meant to be in him now. Be prepared for that not to be there, though.
Okay.
To turn the phrase, we may have to set right what once went wrong.
I have to be the one that does it. I'm the reason it went wrong.
No, I'll do it. It's me he wants. And I will never put that on you.
But it's because I'm the one who put it on me. I didn't think it through.
That's why I love you and why you aggravate the fuck out of me sometimes.
If there's a part of him that's still there, if there's a core that we can reach,
We will try to find it. I swear.
how do we do it? How do I do it?
We have to remind him who he was. Who he can be again.
We're in Rory's room, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna leave the room, go next door to Sasha's room, to her room.
Also, it's been
And
tossed, but with slightly cooler things, less cooler things in them.
no, it's literally an art studio. If they tossed shit, it's probably paints and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
so she's looking for a clean canvas or whatever's left of her supplies that they obviously had no interest in.
Yeah, there'd be like because you'd have like stacks of canvases, prepped, and where you so
Yeah.
there's like one buried behind like some of the ones that have been damaged or splashed or were cut or whatever they did to them. There's like you rifle back and you're able to like find a unbesmirched canvas.
Yeah, I'm leaning on the door frame.
Sasha is going to find a blade, a knife of some sort, like an X-Acto knife, and she's gonna she's gonna like draw some blood and she's gonna mix it in with her red paint, and she's gonna have she's gonna have some black paint, and she's gonna start painting.
Okay.
And she's gonna start. When Rory said that he needed to be reminded, she starts painting, but she imbues the paints with her blood. So there's her blood mixed into her paints as she
Yep.
is now trying to paint an image.
All right, so you got so you're going for like black and red. So you're going for that Castlevania like artist Ayami Kojima, like
Kind of,
stuff.
yeah, like some
She
kind
has
of
like the really
monochromatic,
famous,
like
yeah.
black and red
Yeah, I
sort of thing.
got my vampire husbando sitting behind me that she did the
Oh.
original character art for, right? So yeah, you're doing that. Like she had the really awesome like stark red, stark black, and then like white, like negative space and stuff.
Yeah, and she's painting. She is painting the like cityscape of Chicago, which it's two people on a balcony, like looking up. Like this is like Chicago in the 80s or whatever, like of their early days together, and she's painting this
I'm gonna actually walk
out
up
of
behind
memory.
you and just whisper, "Let Lexi out. Let her help. Learn from what we just went through."
Are you using a particular discipline, or are you reaching into something else?
The thing that I have in mind, I don't have enough points for the power I have in mind.
This could be a
But
good starting point into it.
Well,
This would
okay,
be
so there's this presence power from one of the comics called Magnum Opus that basically imbues presence into art.
Mhm.
So it's kind of the vibes of like she's just trying to influence with the art, like using her.
Is that what you're trying to do, or are you trying to do
She's trying.
something?
Well, kind of like it's kind of like influence to remember. Like, hey, remember this? Like, you know.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a trying to jog one's memory.
Okay.
Sort of aspect to it, but she's also trying to maybe give it a little push of supernatural by putting her blood in the paint. So that's kind of the vibes that's happening, and she's painting this.
All right, cool. I like that. And then Rory said to you, if you want to repeat your line, Rory.
Oh yeah. Let Lexi out. Let her help. Learn from what we just went through. Use her strength.
Yeah, and I think there's when Rory speaks, there's something that clicks in her head, and in her mind, she's reaching in her mind for Lexi as she's doing this.
Roll. I know they say crafting is art, but I'm okay with it being performance as well. And like,
yeah, well, the thing is, craft is the skill for Magnum Opus. So if it was something I was working towards, I would probably want to shift to craft, unless
I'll allow
I can send you the
charisma.
text.
I'll allow charisma performance.
Okay,
or
great.
charisma craft. Your
Okay.
call.
Well,
and then
it's
I'll
just
let you
because
use your presence pool in this as well.
Okay, perfect. 3, 5, 5.
And you will have a 1 dot bonus if you're willfully like allowing like Lexi. Though this may have
one extra
repercussions.
die.
Yeah,
or one extra success.
one extra success if you willfully allow Lexi. This
I
may have
absolutely.
consequences down the line, good or bad, whatever.
I'm
I'm not going to say what happens if you let Lexi out. But
no. I'm gonna let Lexi in.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
basically like push push her through like the forefront of my brain. Like,
Okay.
okay, here we go.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna use my last willpower.
You're going to. I was actually.
Mhm.
Okay. Go. I was going to say you actually can regain a willpower.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to use the willpower. The willpower I
Um,
regain.
okay.
Roll that bad already?
No, I just want to roll better. Uh, I rolled 5 successes.
Okay.
Would that be 6 with the Lexi bonus? Then
No, I
We
you
got a
already had that.
bonus
we
die.
You had it in already. Okay.
we find our
Okay.
mind's eye inside this monochrome, like heart, rich red, harsh black, white negative space, and a little yellow ambient lighting and contrast, right? Sort of
Mm.
two-dimensional space, and we Rory, as he's staring at this painting, it's like watching a flip book come to life for him, but he's not in it. Like he sort of the paint comes together for a minute, he almost sees that sort of cell animation sort of vibe as the canvas almost seems to be alive from his perspective. For you, for Sasha, Lexi, for Sexy,
That's right.
you find yourself atop one of these buildings in the Chicago cityscape,
Mhm.
um in this, like I said, this monochrome, to use your description of it, the red, the black, the white, little yellow thrown in for contrast, holding Zoran's hand. He doesn't have because facial hair, of course, is a sign of evilness or goodness. He doesn't have the intense stubble or the slightly sharper features from the lighting or whatever, but and he's very much in your mind's eye of how you drew him, and you're in a memory of your canvas, how we've seen watercolors and stuff like that. For him, for you, it's these sort of oil pigments, right? Thick and expressive and rich and deep. You can almost see the brush strokes in the lines, right? As you hold his hand. I have to go away, Lexi.
What if I told you I won't let you go?
He turns you towards him, putting like his thumb on the tear of blood, because yes, vampires bleed blood. It's like I'd say I'd say that's why you're the best, but I'm leaving for us, for you. I will be back. I promise. But something bad's gonna happen if I stay.
Something bad's gonna happen when you go. It doesn't matter if you stay or go.
Don't make this harder.
He like tries to wrap his arms around you.
I need you to stay this time.
We're in the 80s, by the way. This is the memory of when he left.
Yeah, but Sasha,
Oh,
Sasha,
right. No, I
still
get
has
you,
her
dude.
memories, right?
Yep. No, I get what you're doing. He's like,
Yeah.
I'll never leave you, Lexi. Not like really. I have to take care of something. I have to know.
What is it that you have to know? Please, no secrets. No secrets this time.
Sometimes it's what it means to be kindred. Secrets even from the person you love the most. In this life or any other.
No. You and I are different.
And secrets can still kill you, Lexi. I gotta know that I can protect you. I've taught you and everything to survive and more. But if I can't.
I need you to.
They're gonna. Go ahead.
No, I need you to promise me you won't forget.
How could I ever forget you? I'll never forget, I promise. You or our love.
Tell me before you go.
I promise.
Tell me before you go why you have to leave in the first place.
Because they're gonna call a blood hunt if I don't.
What did you do?
Protected you.
What did you do? You protected me. I can protect you too, but you have to tell me what you did.
Can't.
And he turns away from you.
I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Your painting, your memory, it stops there, and you're staring at the finished painting of like him turning away and the cityscape, or no, of you two still holding hands and the or
Did I? Oh, okay. So
like it's got that moment
idea.
where you're still holding hands and he's like turned slightly away, but like he could turn back to you and he's not. That like limbo of it, Go ahead.
Yeah, and the idea is she's trying to use this as like a way to remind him, but to do it's more than
you're
just,
also
like,
fucking trying to fuck
it.
with time again too. I see you working. And I think it's right there that we're gonna call it for the evening.
Like a little bit, okay? A little bit, maybe just a little bit.
So I just real quick wanna
Rory, in my defense, Rory enabled it. He said, "Let Lexi in."
Yeah, I know, and he did a fantastic job. So I just want to thank the Raiders real quick. Thank Vancouver
Gravy
by
on.
night, and congratulate him on a second season ending and a third season forthcoming. So vampire shit,
Hell,
let it keep going.
hell yeah, Steve.
And yeah, so chat gang, thank you all for showing up, showing out. Magical Mystic and Simply Wicked, thank you both for the follows. Those gift subs were pretty dope. And yeah, Gravion, I'll have to pop by one of your streams again pretty soon. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out. I guess the players should do their quick exit blurb, starting with we'll go with Rory.
Yes, hello. I am Michael. I have been Rory. You can find me on the internets at Sub-Zero Jalapeno. I have beacons. There's stuff. You should watch it. Power Rangers. So much. Power Rangers. And yeah.
Weirdly less dramatic than this, like less anime, somehow less anime and less dramatic. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, and if you want to see him cry at will, you can stick around, watch more of this and VODs, hardcore acting.
Almost cried tonight.
Almost, not quite.
No, it was your turn.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, I was really throwing it in there.
No, we got there.
Jesus.
So speaking of crying tonight, how's it going, Anne? Segue.
Fantastic. You can find me on Twitter at XO_girlwonder. Yeah, I'll post some links and stuff to my Beacons page, updates and things. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Stay tuned for more updates on my Twitter.
Right on. I have been and continue to be the magical Mr. Mephisto. I am your resident spooky boy in love with all things spooky and macabre. It's best month, if you hadn't noticed. It's October. Typically, I do some sort of like horror marathon, but been lifing lately. I still think I'm going to fit one in this month. I got to get some spooky gaming in, or I believe I cease to exist. Like I just sort of like vibrate out of existence, you know.
Yeah, your kids might not appreciate that.
Yeah, no. So I yeah, I've been your storyteller this evening. Been nice to be back here. I was checking my calendar. I don't think I can run next week Tuesday because of our airplane leaving, but I should be able to come back the 22nd because our plane comes back in Monday night. And then yeah, so Tuesday, so the 22nd I should be back, and maybe we can squeeze in this Thursday, but those Thursdays haven't been working out. Our story is not where I want it to be because of me. I've been too absent. But I am trying. I'm digging deep, y'all, to like.
I think I have to work this Thursday.
You have to work this Thursday? Okay, yeah. Then we'll
still finagling new job scheduling.
Yeah, I won't promise things I can't deliver on. Then, yeah. So you know, Tuesday nights at 9, I think is our usual vampire time. But I'm on vacation, going on vacation next week to Salem. Nice. By the way, speaking of spooky kidding it up, gonna take some haunted ghost tours, BB.
For a second, I was like, "You're coming to Oregon?"
Yeah, like, Salem, no. Yeah, I'm going to Salem, Oregon for vacation.
You know what? What?
Why? I don't know why you would do that, but like, I'm gonna drive up and see you.
Yeah, go to Salem, Oregon. You know what? The famous city of Salem, Oregon.
You know what, though? You did a great job tonight. The drama is going to sustain me until you get back.
Good. Yeah. So we will be missing next week, Tuesday. Maybe I'll like schedule a rerun. I think there's a really good. We have to do like a recap episode, you know, like a clip show. like figure out how to get our hot.
Do you remember that time when?
Yeah.
And cut to the.
Yeah. Remember when? Yeah, that'd be great.
We just referenced the episode that got eaten by the internet.
Yeah.
Episode 9.
Well,
Rip.
what I will say is 9 of last season, by the way. This is episode 9 of the new season.
Oh,
of
yeah.
season 2.
Season 1, episode 9.
But what I will say is when I come back from vacation, I'm gonna reach out to Elle, and I think we got to do
Yes.
we got to do the vampire
Okay.
My Little Pony crossover adventure.
Are they going to be my vampire mommy?
I
Are we
th-
going to deal with
I'll
mommy
ask them.
issues?
I'll ask them if they want to be like I don't
I
like,
don't-
or
I
if they
kinda
want
feel
to
like
if they want to play like an NB, like an NB vampire or something like that, rather than shoehorning them into
Well,
a.
I mean, I did kind of float it out there to them. I'm only saying this because I have a really good rapport with them.
If
So
yeah,
we
Elle
dig
Elle
into
wants
the
to play,
dramatic.
hey, anybody could play anybody. If Elle wants to play, your real sire, that could make for some really cool stuff because they're not necessarily set up as a. Your sire isn't really set up as like a sympathetic villain right now, and I think having a role player actually like pilot that would really add to the layers of the drama.
I think Elle could pull off a sympathetic villain sort of situation.
But then I got to sit down with Elle and like give them some tea and be like, okay, so here's some of your secret motivations that
this
coterie
is
doesn't
how
know
you're
about.
gonna. Here's how you're
Spoiler:
gonna
the
fuck
Toreador are trying to prove Ventrue suck at ruling Chicago. There you go.
That's not a spoiler. That's literally been since day one of this chronicle.
Well, it's literally in the base book. It basically like is like.
Oh yeah, the Chicago by Night book.
Chicago by Night basically outlines it. I just like kind of took it to a weird. I just took it to a weird place to do it. Is really what I did. Is I took what was written, I went and I anded it into insanity, which is kind of what I do with stories. Is
with literally everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I turn everything
great.
to 11. I don't like my dial. It's just like it's 10 or 11. It only goes up.
No, it's great.
No breaks.
No,
on
this session will sustain me for a couple of weeks until you get back. Honestly.
I felt I owed it to you. And also the bracketing tonight was pretty cool, starting with the holding hands thing in one direction and bracketing. So yeah, I thought this was pretty sweet.
So
adventure.
much hand holding.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, thank you all for playing. Remember, follows are free. So all y'all raiders who've just been lurking is always appreciated. Follows are free. If you want, you can
catch up.
Yep.
Time now.
You can bounce on over to YouTube, catch up on the whole story, and follow these fantastic players. They're a lot more active on the internet than I am, and they're amongst some of the greatest role players I've played with in my 30 years of GMing. So that's high accolades, high praise, if you ask me. I couldn't tell this story quite literally without you. And Shelly, who's on vacation right now.
Jerk. Have fun.
Yeah, where you see the Final Fantasy Symphony of the Night's Game Over screen, that's where Shelly normally is. And we alluded to her character Ashley a little bit. And we will catch up with what Ashley was doing in the meantime.
Scratching some eyes out.
Spooky shit
so many eyes.
is foreshadowing. It was spooky shit. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the raids. Thanks for the gift subs, the follows. Congrats again, ST Steve. And again, thank you both for gaming with me. Chat gang, you're the reason we do this thing. Remember to drink your milk, pay your taxes, be excellent to yourselves and each other. We will catch you next time. Goodbye.